On the mic with us today is Robina Amberson-Walling, and today's topic is menopause.
I'm in the throes of it right now. I am perimenopausal and I have the brain fog. I have the hot flashes. My husband knows all about the window open and the mood swings. And so, instead of me working against my body, I work with my body. Okay. You have the tools to work with this. This is a natural progression. Back in the day, we didn't have all of these things. How did women deal with it? And I'm not saying you have to suffer because I don't believe anyone should suffer, but I do believe.
In today's episode, we are flipping the script and discovering how the natural transition of menopause can be a gateway to empowerment. This is Rise and Thrive with Ms. Monday. I'm your host, a photographer, filmmaker, and artist devoted to telling stories of brave souls who are standing up, speaking truth, and building something better. My podcast is independently created and powered by passion, just my soul connecting with your soul. If something here moves you on the show, I'd be honored if you'd like, subscribe, and share it. Your support fuels this movement, and it means more than you know, so thank you. Thank you for listening. Today, we're diving into a topic that many women prefer to avoid, menopause. Menopause is often portrayed as a challenging phase, but your program, Mind Over Menopause, offers a different perspective. And so, what inspired you first to create this program, and how does it empower women to navigate this transition with strength and clarity? Because the reality is, this is something that often gets misdiagnosed, right? So I'd love for our listeners to hear your story.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, we're in 2025 and we are in a time in health and our lives where women are really realizing how powerful they are and they're understanding this feminine energy. And so basically me going through the beginning phases of perimenopause, and I wouldn't say misdiagnosed, but I wasn't given the full story. And it was me going in through starting with anxiety and then leading to depression with all of the other factors. And, my doctor did say, it is depression after a long period of time. So it wasn't like he gave me medication right away, but I didn't understand that I had more power in this whole journey than I was given. And I really think because I come from a medical background, I was a nurse before, and I understand how the medical system works. But I think that we're really moving away from the innate power of the body. And so as I did go through the depression and the anxiety and the weight gain and the hot flashes and all the things, I realized that one, I did at that time need medical intervention. And one of the things that you will hear me say, Ingrid, is I do believe there is a time and place for medicine, but I believe that we need to really start with the natural approach and helping the body come back to its balance. Because the physical body shows up when the rest of the body is out of balance. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. But I was on antidepressants for 6 months and I came off of it. I just said it was time. But I knew that it was so much deeper than depression. I knew that it was deeper than just my hormones. I actually realized that it was trauma. There was emotional things that I needed to work through. I knew that it was my mindset at the time. So I knew it was my energetic body. So at the same time, I was doing things like energetic work, sound therapy. That's when I decided there needs to be more of a discussion here with women.
You went looking for answers and realize that there's more to it than just some pills. Now, I want to learn so much about menopause and perimenopause because I'm not there yet, but it's about to happen. I know that many women often experience forgetfulness and mood swings during perimenopause. And I guess it's easy for us to just say, oh, whatever, we're just getting older, right? But can we fix it? What are the stages and what's going to happen to our bodies? And how can we make this transition smoother, especially during the foggy and emotional shifts that we're going to go through?
I think the important thing to know is that there is no definitive beginning and there's no definitive end. And
Okay.
that's really hard for a lot of people
Yeah, I was
because
just thinking, I'm like, no, I don't.
no,
No,
but
I thought there was an end. There
okay,
is no end. Okay.
well, I
Okay.
mean, think
Well,
about it this way.
yeah.
People like numbers, they like boxes. They say
Yeah.
this is the diagnosis. And the problem with the medical system and a lot of the medical education is they spend very little time on women's health. And the problem with perimenopause, which is the beginning phases, is
Yeah.
that it is not a one size fits all. And
Mm.
so if you go to your doctor, just like I did, and I was like, I think I'm going into menopause or the beginning phases of it, my labs didn't show that I was. I wasn't without a period for 12 months. And that is
Mm.
how they definitely classify menopause. And
Mm.
so there are so many symptoms that happen in perimenopause, and they are bizarre. People really typically think of hot flashes, cold sweats, difficulty sleeping, abdominal gain, like abdominal fat, weight gain. There's so many different ones, right? Mood swings, anxiety, depression. But now there's things like, your skin feels like it's crawling. There's
Mm.
your teeth softening. Like there's so
Wow.
many different symptoms. And
Mm.
so the key thing for women to really recognize in this phase is that something isn't the same. And I
Mm.
really want to empower women to get answers. And if you go to your doctor and you're not getting the answers that you need, you have to start asking different questions. Then you also have to start doing your own research. You have to start advocating for yourself because
Mhm.
there's not a lot of information out there. And the information that is out there, I would like you guys to start questioning, where does it come from? Who's
Mm.
funding these studies? A lot of the studies are backed by pharmaceuticals
Mm.
because there's a huge campaign going on right now about perimenopause. And if you look at even some of the videos and the movies and the trailers that are coming out, they're funded by pharmaceutical companies.
Mhm.
And so I want people to really be aware that the story sometimes is not the entire story. And we're
Mm.
only just given a snapshot. When we get into menopause, that's where we have a lot of the other symptoms as well. But what is the real classifying cardinal sign of that phase is that there is no menses for a year. That's how you know you're in menopause. And usually they say the average age is around 51. And for perimenopause, it can happen 10 years before menopause happens or earlier. And there's other factors too, like race and ethnicity that alters the actual statistic as well. And then when we're looking at postmenopause, you've gone through that phase already. Your estrogen and progesterone levels are low consistently, and some of the symptoms may go away, some of them may minimize, but that's where you're at. And so the really important thing is just asking yourself, like, if you are experiencing things, because one of the cardinal complaints that I hear from the women
Mm.
are that they just don't feel like themselves.
Yeah, I can imagine. I know some women that have started to go through menopause, and one of them actually, she says she was feeling depressed and
Hmm.
like she didn't want to get out of bed.
Hmm.
She's a go-getter and she's very driven and she's always moving, moving, moving. And all of a sudden, she said she felt like she was stiff and she didn't feel like getting out of bed. She knew she wasn't mentally sick, but her body was not doing what she wanted it to do.
And sorry, that's exactly
Yeah.
how I started. It was like I hit burnout
Mm.
and I couldn't get out of bed. I felt like a Mack truck had hit me.
Yeah, that's what she
I
said.
was having fibromyalgia symptoms. So like my body was aching and I
Oh.
just couldn't understand it. That was the first sign that I had.
Wow, yeah, she went to the doctor and then she realized that her hormones were really out of whack. But I know like there's so many different symptoms. I know you said it doesn't really go away, and it's true because my mom actually went through it. years ago, obviously, and she sleeps with her window open every night. And it's funny because my dad, he's a sweet soul, but he hates it. He's
Yep.
the opposite. So he sleeps with a super thick duvet and they're always bickering, but it's a joke almost in the family. So it's funny. But like obviously there's huge lifestyle changes. Is there things that you can do, like maybe diet, any exercise or anything like that that can help ease the symptoms?
Diet is a big one. Increasing your fiber, making sure you get enough protein. Those are really big ones.
Mm,
The other thing is stress management is the biggest one, I would say.
mm,
Is there's a huge correlation with actually the increased stress with hormone like going up and down, your hormones going up and down. So if you
mm,
manage your stress, it could actually help alleviate a lot of the symptoms.
mm,
So when I did mention like a sound bath and doing body talk and energetic work, it
mm,
helps relax the nervous system. And when the nervous system is relaxed, then we're also able to throw different things at the body and the body can
mm,
handle it with resilience. And
mm.
that's one of the things that we are really lacking in the world that we live in because we're in such a fast-paced world. So when I
Mm.
want you to think about your friend, Ingrid, what I want you to think about is you said she's a go-getter,
Yeah.
right? So she's constantly on the
On the
move,
fall.
she
Yeah.
hustle,
Yeah.
right? And so,
Busy.
right. So when you think about those people, think about them being in fight or flight mode more often than in
Mm.
rest and relaxation,
Yeah.
right? And how they handle these changes. And
Mm.
so one of the big things that I am a huge proponent for is stress management. Doing different ways. Meditation is a huge benefit for people that are going through any of these phases. And
Mm.
there's lots of documentation on the effects of meditation on the body. So
Mm.
that's a really great one. The other thing that's really interesting is movement. And a lot of people think, I have to do this aggressive because women typically go to the gym and they hit cardio hard. And they're
Mm.
starting to realize that that is not helping you. It's actually putting more hormonal stress on you because you're increasing
Really?
cortisol. Yes.
Wow.
So a
Okay.
lot of things you can do, like strength training is really good because one of the reasons that women become more predisposed to bone issues and bone density problems when they get older is because of the fact that our estrogen levels are decreasing. And so
Mm.
we know that strength training has been linked to increasing bone density. So that's a really great thing. One of the things that
Mm.
I really love doing and teaching my clients is teaching them alternative methods of movement to connect not only your chi, so your energy system, but also your breath. So you're working with the nervous system. So you
Mm.
could be doing something like qigong or yoga or breath work. I
Mhm.
really love incorporating those types of things for people for
Mm.
movement because we typically think with menopause and perimenopause and these changes in our life,
Mm.
creates a change in our weight. So one of the things we think is, I got to speed up, I got to do things fast, and the body doesn't want that.
Mm.
The body wants to learn how to settle down, how to
Wow.
relax, how to rest and recuperate. So
Yeah.
if you take hormonal shifts, and we know that everyone is pretty much in high cortisol right now
Yes.
in the world we live in, we want to bring the stress down.
Mm.
Slowing slowing down to speed up is a really beautiful analogy.
I have another girlfriend who's like running all the time now, because she's
Mhm.
noticing weight gain. So you're saying slowing it down makes the transition easier. And then I guess, does it help with the weight gain or I don't know. I
It's
wonder.
very everyone is different. Okay, so
Yeah.
everyone's body is very different. I'll give you a story. So my background was I was a competitive athlete. So I was a fitness model and so I did bodybuilding competition. So what I know
Hmm.
is to work hard and work intense.
Yes.
So the weight gain started coming on and I decided to join Orange Theory.
Okay.
So I'm very competitive. So I'm like, there is
Wow.
no way I am going to like not complete this. So I did it and I like burned like 800 calories that day. It was crazy. And it was like a 40-minute class. And then at the end of it, my body took like 6 days to recover because the
Wow.
amount of stress that my body endured, because I actually track all my biometrics so I can
Mm,
see how things actually affect my body. And that's one of the things I do with my clients too. So
wow.
I really want people to understand that even though our automatic thought is, I need to eat less food, I need to work harder, I need to work out, I need to do all these things. But there's a lot of times when the opposite is true because
Mm,
the amount of stress, even just thinking that we do, just to think something as humans,
mm.
creates a spike in our cortisol. If we think about something that's stressful, it actually has a physiological effect on the body.
Yes, that is so true. Yes. Thank you so much for bringing all this information because we need this, girls. We do need to learn all of this stuff. Now, I'm curious about hormones.
Mhm.
Do we need hormones? Is there a natural way or herbal alternative? And what are side effects?
You can get estrogen by itself. You can get estrogen and progesterone. It really depends on you. And, you also have to look at if you are a candidate because
Mm,
there are different side effects that could potentially be there. And they actually say the side effects are a lot less than we have been, you know, thought to believe in the past because there was a time back in the day where they were really linking it to breast cancer and now
yeah.
they're saying it's a very low risk. My take on it is this is a natural progression that we're going through. I mean,
Mm,
I'm in the throes of it right now. I am perimenopausal and I
mm,
have the brain fog. I have the hot
mm,
flashes. My husband knows all about the window open and
yeah.
the mood swings. And so, instead of me working against my body, I
Mm,
work with my body.
mm,
Okay? Because I want to signal to my body that you have the tools to work with this. This is a natural progression. Back in the day, we didn't have all of these things.
mm,
How did women deal with it? And I'm
mm,
not saying you have to suffer because I don't believe anyone should suffer, but I
mhm,
do believe it's a really interesting time to get to know what your body is capable of doing and
mhm,
how amazing the intelligence of the body truly is. If you think about like you can have a baby and your body
mhm.
just knows exactly what to do and how to do it. There is this intelligence there.
Yeah.
And so I don't think that there's any difference between going through puberty and going through menopause.
Yeah.
It's a natural phase. I'm
Mhm,
not my daughter is going through the beginning of puberty. I'm not giving her hormones or taking hormones away or giving her buffers.
mm,
I'm helping her work through it. I'm realizing the mood swings are related to what is happening physiologically in her body. And I'm
mm,
teaching her about that. So there needs to be
mhm,
a re education with people in general in terms of we need to talk about perimenopause and menopause because our moms and their moms, they didn't talk about it. They didn't talk to us about it. So our children and their children will be at the advantage because they'll know more about this stage. But it
mhm,
also, there are so many things that we can do. There are herbal supplements that kind of act like estrogen, like black cohosh, red clover. There's so many different other ones. We can use maca for stress and primrose also for mood as well and adrenals. And
mm,
there's like so many things, L-theanine, but you got to figure out what really works for you because everyone's body chemistry is very different.
mm,
Everyone's life situation is very different. And
mm,
also, some of these things can have contraindications with medication. So, going to a pharmacist and talking to them about them as well. But it's really interesting to understand even there's acupressure points that you could be stimulating to help
mhm.
the body relax itself. I've
Okay.
created auriculotherapy. It's acupressure points in the ear that you can stimulate with ear seeds to help you with mood, with sleep. I
Mm,
have created magnesium spray for my clients to help them with sleep. So there's so many different things that we can do. It's just a matter of finding the resources and
mhm.
being open to understanding how some of these things can work.
You brought up such a valid point there, talking about the fact that we are able to have kids or go through periods and we don't add hormones. We just let it happen naturally. But I guess the reason why people add the hormone is because maybe they're worried, you know, they are going to have to slow down and they don't want
For
to that
sure.
fast, right? Like it's happening too quickly. But we give away so much to the medical industry. And
Yeah.
so
I think
Yeah.
that's where we have to change the narrative. It's also around the idea of getting old, and
Yeah.
that women also believe that when they hit menopause, that their life is over, that there's
Mm-hmm.
no sexual activity, that they're not sexy, that
Mm-hmm.
they don't have the femininity, they feel like their womanhood is lost, and we need to really change that narrative
Mm-hmm.
because women in their 50s, their 60s are more beautiful than ever.
Mm-hmm.
They're standing in their power. We need
Mm-hmm.
to really empower women to stand in their power now versus feeling like, well, I'm not in my prime anymore. I really believe that menopause and perimenopause is a way of you redefining your life. Like anything that you haven't done before, this is a rebirth.
Mm-hmm.
When little girls go into puberty, they become a young woman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're
So
right. And we
change
should
the
celebrate that.
narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean we're an old woman.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm 47 and I really believe that I am coming into myself because I'm finally understanding who I
Mm-hmm.
really am and not who I've had to be all the years. It's really about redefining this phase of my life and doing what I want.
Yeah. Doing what you want.
One of the things that we do is I do a lot of stress management, whether it's trauma, whether it's symptoms that they're going through, whether it's health issues. I really work on them on 5 levels of the body. So it's not just your physical body, I'm working on your energetics. So maybe we're doing biofield tuning, which is sound tuning forks with sound and
Mm-hmm.
frequency or frequency that's delivered to your inbox and then you can listen to it, or there's ways to
Cool.
measure your energy systems and the stress on your body. We are also looking at things that have happened in your life and how to reframe them because when we are triggered by things, it can also trigger anxiety and stress. Um, I have one client who's actually just entering perimenopause, and I was speaking to her yesterday, and she was like, "I don't know what's going on with me, but that's why I mentioned the skin crawling." And I
Mm-hmm.
said to her, "This is actually a symptom of perimenopause."
It sucks.
And we worked on her really reframing what's been going on. And she was realizing that the anxiety that she was experiencing, the creepy crawlies that she was experiencing,
Mm.
the fatigue were all related to the change in her hormones. So, some of the things that we do, like I said, I worked with her. We're doing a little bit of supplementation as well as working on with frequency to help her relax, a lot of deep breathing, doing breath work, and just helping her really come back into herself. And also just educating the people around you about what
Mm-hmm.
is happening in your body and how
Mm-hmm.
they can support you and realize that, you're not being snappy. It's something you can't control. And I'm not
Mm.
saying it's an excuse, but it sometimes helps people understand like estrogen is a hormone that is responsible for so many different things. Our mood, it's responsible for our digestion, it's responsible for preventative for cardiovascular issues.
Mm.
It's like our bones. There's so many things, right? And
Mm-hmm.
whereas when men go through andropause, it's just testosterone, and testosterone is our thing to really get us moving.
Mm.
But ours is a multitude of different things happening. So
Mm-hmm.
it's helping people around us really understand the shifts. The brain fog was another thing that we worked on. So we work on really, looking at the things that you have to do today and how can we simplify your life and not feel like you're overwhelmed. So it's really taking like a magnifying glass on your entire life and
Mm-hmm.
helping you manage it differently. But one of
Mm-hmm.
the things I have to say is a common occurrence is people need to learn to give themselves a little more grace during this period
Mm-hmm.
because there's shifts happening. So one of the analogies that I say to them is like, if your son was not feeling well, would you keep bothering him to get his homework done, to do the things that he needs to do? No, you would let him rest.
Mm-hmm.
So why can't we let ourselves rest when we need to rest and recuperate and then do the things that we need to do?
Well, that's such good advice. We sometimes forget to stop and rest when it's needed. What do you wish more women knew about menopause? And why don't we talk about it openly? What do you think is the reason?
Because there's shame attached to it.
Mm.
Thought is, I'm a woman, I have ovaries and I have eggs. I can
Mhm.
give birth in the prime of my life. I am feminine. I have this power in my femininity in my prime. But there
Mm.
is such shame in the old school of thinking that, you're going through this phase of life and that, and you're not going to be the same. And it's almost like a mourning of who you were. And I
Mm.
really believe that, like, we're not there anymore.
Mm.
We're talking about things that are a normal day-to-day occurrence and they happen to everyone. No
Mhm.
one is exempt from menopause.
I know, even if we want to,
Like, you
it's
don't
not
get
gonna,
the
yeah.
pass. You don't get the pass. And so I wish more women would realize that the body is very powerful. If you get cut, your body knows how to heal itself, right?
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
you get pregnant, your body knows how to take care of that. Our
Mhm.
genes are so sophisticated that they know how to do what they do to make life happen, right?
Mhm.
Like, there is such an intelligence there. Why are we not allowing it to do what it does? We're
Mhm.
trying to micromanage nature, and we really don't need to.
Such a valid point. Micromanaging nature is happening way too much. And yeah, we should just let it the natural flow. Let it be natural, right?
Yeah. And I want to
Yeah.
just clarify, Ingrid, like before, I like I said, I don't think that anyone, if they wanted to do HRT, I
Mhm.
don't think that anyone should shame them for that decision. I
Mm.
feel like, we're in a time where you make your decisions for your life. And if
Mhm.
you're happy about that, then I applaud you. But I
Mhm.
want people to know there are other things available. And that
Mhm.
is the most important thing that I want to drive through today is that, the nervous system is overstimulated. And if we can just help the body come back into balance a little bit and work with the body versus like being a hard no, like, no, my body's not changing. No, this is not happening to me. No, my hormones are normal. Like, if we
Mm.
learn to work with the body,
Mm.
amazing things can happen.
I think that's so unique and so cool. Um, how do how do clients work with you and where are you located?
So I am online. So I do a lot of work online. A lot of my clients are in the States, but I am in Toronto.
Mm.
I am currently in a acupuncture clinic in Vaughan.
Okay.
So I do work out of there, but as well as I can do a lot of things remotely because I'm doing my PhD and doctorate in natural medicine. So a lot of the stuff that we do, it can be done remotely as well. So a lot of the things that I talk about with my clients are done through just like this, through Zoom or through a platform. Energy medicine works just by the power of intention. There's lots of research on that.
Mm.
So it's a really beautiful way to help people really help themselves and come back into that balance we discussed.
Do you do in-person sessions? Like I love the fact that you do field bio tuning, and
Yep.
I'm sure you work with binaural beats, or what is it called?
Binaural beats,
Yeah,
yeah.
binaural beats, which is so cool. I would love to come to a session
Yeah.
actually.
One of the
Yeah.
things that I do is the BioWell. So that basically is a Kirlian photography. So it can take a picture
Of the aura.
of the aura, but
Course.
even
Yeah.
more specific than that, it really looks at your meridians and then looks at what parts of your body are actually pulling too much energy or not taking enough energy. And it creates binaural beats. So it's a treatment that can help bring you back into balance. But it can also show you things like, let's say, if you do biofield tuning or you get a massage or acupuncture, it will literally show you a before and after of how the energy has moved and shifted in those areas. So, yeah, there's really cool stuff. A lot of research coming out with that as well.
That is so cool. I know the universe brought us together for a reason.
Absolutely.
We'll definitely stay in touch for sure.
And I don't want to chase symptoms. I want to get
Mm.
to the root cause of what's happening. So the symptoms may be, hot flashes, but you'll notice that if you're stressed, they're going to get worse. So let's get to the root cause of the stress and let's
Mm.
figure out how to help calm the body down so that your experiences will be very different.
Well, that's a wrap on today's episode. Thank you so much, Robina, for being here. That's Robina from The Root of Healing. Yes, listeners, so it's www.therootofhealing.com. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and your warmth with us on this beautiful call. And to our wonderful listeners, thank you for tuning in and being part of this journey. Remember, perimenopause and menopause are natural chapters of our life. If you enjoyed our conversation today, please consider subscribing, liking, leaving a comment, and your feedback also helps. If you enjoyed our interview today, please share and like it. And if you have a unique story of how you are creatively engaging with our world, I can help you share it in a multitude of different ways, whether it's through photography, film, or being a guest on my podcast. Be sure to reach out. My mission is to make you and your brand stand out. Please visit our website, www.riseupandfixit.com. Now, this is Rise and Thrive with Ms. Monday, brought to you by the Rise Up and Fix It podcast.